a glorious part of the world at any time, but on a beautiful night like this, it is fantastic. The new Lorna picture for arguably the biggest game it's ever staged. On the far side of the ground, underneath a piercing setting sun, the Tranmere fans on a low, shallow, open terrace, floor blood-like mould, spaced equidistantly behind them. The vista behind them of trees, a little copse, and a hill on which 5 or 6 sheep patrol oblivious to the ensuing drama a stone's throw away. But there are no other English League venues that have sheep as close as that. To our right, the home end, behind which the rolling hills of Gloucestershire look magnificent in the sunlight. It's an idyllic scene. This is the club's second home after a move around 15 years ago from the lawn. But if that was just a few hundred yards away, they're a million miles now from what they were as an entity back then. It wasn't that long ago, in the grand scheme of things, they were in the Hellenic League, then the Southern League, before establishing themselves in the top tier of the non-league game. Now, they're 180 minutes away from the third tier, if they can get past Tranmere and Newport. Well, Tranmere's playoff experience, much more far-reaching, of course. Their journey to this point, not the smooth upward trajectory of their hosts. The last generation has seen Wembley finals, playoff glory and heartbreak, and relegation out of the league, the lowest spot in their history. They're slowly, steadily making their way back up, one step at a time, and they're very confident that over the next 2-3 weeks or so, they will be able to take one significant step from Tier 4 back up to Tier 3. Well, a nice moment just down on the touchline beneath us, spotted by my esteemed colleague Sam, an embrace between the two managers. You talked about their competitive instincts. Both very decent blokes, and it will play a good split between them two. Not necessarily on the field. I think we can probably guarantee that there will be needle there, but it was a nice moment to see two managers face.
Yeah, you know, a bit of a beeline for Mark Cooper and Mickey Mellon. I thought initially there was a few words exchanged, but it seemed to be perfectly amicable in the end, and Scott Lindsay, Mark Cooper's assistant, came over as well to wish his counterpart from Birkenhead good luck as well tonight for this second leg. Like I said, Jim, it's beautifully poised. I feel that Forest Green have got the assets at the top end of the pitch to get them back in the game, but Tranmere have got that goal, and we know how wonderfully well they have defended, especially at Prenton Park, it must be said, throughout this season. Two very competitive centre-halves who will get up against Christian Doyle, make it difficult for him. But I think it's going to be really interesting. Ollie does his job, holding the field. If he can deal with those Forest Green players who are going to try and get into the pockets.
Forest Green in their lime green kit with the black trim, ball and goal, Shepherd, Rawson, McGinley and Mills, Winchester, Collins and Brown, Mondale, Deutsch and Grubb. Tranmere, Davis and goal, Caprice, Nelson, Montford, Whitehouse, Banks, then Morris, Harris, Perkins and Jones, and Norwood up front. Eddie Middleton is the referee. Last time he took charge of the Tranmere match, he sent off a couple of senior players. It is 1-0 Tranmere ahead of this second leg. No away goals in the playoff semi-finals. A 1-0 victory or a 5-4 victory for Forest Green, it matters not. That would take us to extra time. Penalties on the agenda as well. We're underway. Tranmere white shirts, blue shorts and socks, and they're defending the northern end of the ground away to our right-hand side. Ball out of play, just past a massive beach ball in evidence on the Tranmere terrace over on the far touchline. It's a throw which will be taken by the Ponyhead, the defender and captain for Forest Green, Joseph Mills, the left back, has the ball in his hand, and he's just preparing, waiting for a little bit of movement ahead of him. He's taking an eternity about this throw, which is now launched long down the left-hand touchline. It's flicked on. Deutsch will chase, but Sid Nelson's back there at the back for Tranmere and just clears his lines, puts it out of play for another throw, which will be taken on the Forest Green line. Talksport 2, Forest Green 0, Tranmere Rovers 0, 1-0 Tranmere on aggregate, and alongside me, Sam Parkin.
Yeah, just interesting that the Forest Green setup. They've been 5-2 for a large portion of their time in the EFL, really, and seems to favour this deep line midfielder now. Lee Collins is a central defender by trade, as is Gavin Gunning, but I think that gives them flexibility for that deep line midfielder, just to drop in between the two centre halves and make it a 5. it's probably something that we'll see some part of the game if Forest Green were to get the nose in front.
His month down to Liam Whitehouse, who's deflected straight out of play by Mondal. What a season he has had. He was a trainee at Middle. He went into non-league football and signed from Whitby Town of the Northern Premier League back in December. So started that many games, up into double figures in terms of starts tonight. Easily the biggest game of his career today is Ridehouse. Plays the ball past him, and there is Mondal getting his positioning right, works it through the midfield for Winchester. Winchester for Forest Green in the heart of the midfield, laying it back again to his centre-half, Farron Rawson, the former Derby player. And back from him to his goalkeeper, Lewis Ward, who's on loan from Reading. Long clearance from him, and the man Mountain Month at the back just lets it run through for Scott Davis, the Tranmere goalkeeper. And we've played 2.5 minutes of Forest Green 0, Tranmere 0 here on Talksport 2.
They're not really settled down as yet. As I said, pre-match, I feel that Forest Green will be patient. They'll stick to their principles. They went away from it a little bit at a stage last season when the desperation for really there. They went a little bit more direct this season. Better calibre of player. Stuff alongside Barry, I would say. There's a bit of a contrast, but that's not really Tranmere. They can play and also have that real threat. James Moore without play.
Shepherd rides the ball forward through the midfield to next to the pass, finds Dale Grabner, who's graduated from the school of non-league football after years down Supermare. Ball back for Collins. Now to the tall blonde-haired centre-half McGinley, and his long ball forward will be chased down the left-hand side by Dale. Two Tranmere players are there with him, but Grubb's going to emerge in possession. He's on the edge of the penalty area. The ball laid back to the edge of the box again. Work back into a deeper position here for Shepherd. Still 0-0 in the early stages here in the Cotswolds. Ball played back towards halfway. Forest Green having the early possession with McGinley working down the left-hand touchline. Mills overhits the ball, but Mondal at the far post is lurking. Ridehouse taking no chances. Heads are behind for the first corner of the night to Forest Green.
Yeah, first nice passage of play. Just as I was saying, they're probably just going to play into midfield and build patiently. Direct in for Grubb, who recycles the ball well for his team, and the left foot of Mills, such an asset for Forest Green. Good delivery.
Here's Mondal that takes the corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's Mills that flicked it on. It will go down towards the opposite corner flag where Winchester will try and get there, but Tranmere have won it and are able to play it away with Morris over on the far touchline. And his ball forward through the midfield to the veteran Perkins, and he can calm things down before Jacob Priest clears up the Tranmere right-hand side. Looks so there might be a little push there by McGinley. And the Tranmere continue to hold possession and recycle it, work back towards the left-hand touchline before Ridehouse just goes in shoulder to shoulder on Mondal. No complaints, ball beating the pair of them, and it goes over the line and out for a throw which will be taken on the Tranmere left-hand side by Ridehouse. You're listening to Forest Green against Tranmere on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. So inside the opening 5 minutes, Forest Green 0, Tranmere 0. As the ball is worked up the left-hand touchline for Tranmere. Jennings couldn't quite control it, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Forest Green right. Colin Jennings did score Tranmere's goal against Forest Green when these two met in the playoff final to get out of non-league back into League 2 a couple of years ago. That was a game that was won by Forest Green 3-1. Just to give you an idea of what Sam was saying about the way that the team has been rebuilt here. Only one player who played that day for Forest Green who is playing for them tonight, and that's Doige. Although Month and Mark Ellis, who's injured at the moment, have subsequently left Forest Green to go to Tranmere. Is now as long as taking Micah Priest over on the right-hand touchline. Sun still in the eye by the managers on the edge technical area with hands over their eyes. Here through the sunlight, trying to see what is going on. All the way back there, Perkins here to Tranmere, about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Sticks towards the right-hand side, an opportunity for Caprice to try and deliver. Out goes again towards the edge of the box. Forest Green just keeping their shape behind the ball. Righthouse driving it in, but it hits Shepherd. And ricochets through to the goalkeeper, Lewis Ward, who will pick it up and then hold it out from the back down the right-hand touchline. All the darkness. Take a turn inside, bring it away from Jennings, and play it forward through the midfield of the Welshman Gormich. He can't quite hold it up, but Winchester, so lively in the midfield, buzzing around, wins it back, now finds Mondal. Mondal trying to get goal side of Jennings. Ride the challenge, it's a little way up towards the edge of the box, slip through towards the edge of the penalty area, but Tranmere can win it back with Jennings, and then Capri takes a touch, drops his shoulder, and he'll be able to get it away from Grubb over on the left-hand side of the Forest Green midfield. Capri makes a good 10-15 yards, then tackles himself, and puts it out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Mills for Forest Green. 7 gone, 0-0 sound.
Yeah, he's had a little passage of play now, and then just passes together. And the first example of Perkins getting on the ball, Jim, I think a lot of eyebrows raised when he came into the club, given his age, but he's been vital in getting Tranmere into these playoffs. Had a real spell towards the tail end of this season, and he needs to get on the ball in the pockets, like I've just been talking about. Forest Green coming off the line. Perkins is a very good technician. He'll be one looking to slide Norway away.
Talk about his age. So much experience, David Perkins. More than 500 games he played in the charity kit for Barnsley. They brought him in from Rochdale, and he's had an excellent second half of the campaign for Mickey Mellon's man. They were in possession now. The ball thrown by Righthouse back to his goalkeeper, Scott Davis, who's in his 4th season with the club. Drives it forward, right-footed. Looking for Norwood. Hasn't had too many opportunities to shine against his former club tonight. He was certainly involved in the thick of the action on Friday. Ollie Banks then fouled by Mondal, but the home crowd and players didn't like that decision. Here's the free kick inside the second circle. On Forest Green 0, Tranmere 0.
Necessity for Forest Green to go and press is great, so they obviously want to get on with the game, so therefore Deutsch, the other 4 players are going to go and press those central defenders and the goalkeeper. Tranmere won't mind that too much, but they're just going to go long, and the other side of the ball is Tranmere just quite happy to get back into shape and allow Forest Green to have the ball at the back. That's natural, I think, with the goal advantage. Forest Green very, very keen to get on with it and force those mistakes.
Long ball played forward again by Tranmere goalkeeper down towards the right flank side ball that tracks inside the penalty. Jennings was waiting. It's a good defensive header from Shepherd. Jennings is first to it, facing away from the penalty area. He's now run round it. Perkins drives it forward. It might break for Jennings again. Banks might be able to set him up. He couldn't get into a shooting position like he did the other night in such good effect. Tranmere pick up the pieces again as Forest Green toe poke it away. A month on halfway. We'll just have time to bring it forward, take a touch, and then work it down to the fullback Righthouse. Here's ball down the left-hand touchline. Swiftly returned to him by Jennings. Back for Month, who saw Deutsch coming, and then side-foots it through the midfield, but it's easily cut out there by the former Birmingham player Reece Brown. Brown will now bring it forward over halfway. Rides the challenge, finds Mondal. Mondal back infield towards Brown. Brown's first touch takes him out towards the touchline. It's a good strong run by Reece Brown. Jennings comes back and puts the challenge in. And Forest Green have a throw about 5 yards to the corner flag.
Yeah, you can see the confidence just flowing in Brown. Little intricate touches, trying to link the play. Him and Mondal exchanging passes there and getting a throw in deep territory. It's a big night for Mondal because he's done some really good things in the away fixtures, and he's not really shown the home fans exactly what he's capable of.
10 gone, Forest Green 0, Tranmere 0, 1-0 to Tranmere on aggregate. The ball is cleared again by Righthouse from the throw. Down towards Brown, one back by Perkins, who just shepherds it out of play. But here's deemed to be the last touch, so it's a throw to Forest Green. Perkins then throwing it back to Shepherd, where the throw's going to be taken from through the ball to Mondal, who's 20 yards upfield. An old pros trick, just allowing Tranmere that little hesitation to regain their shape. Throw taken by Shepherd into the feet of Brown and back again. Now down towards McGinley. McGinley will bring it forward. He then slipped on that marshy centre circle area, which was so heavily watered before kick-off. He was able to get back to his feet, and in doing so he just caught Harris. Now they play forward through the midfield again, where Perkins has had a little nibble at Brown and caught him, and it's a free kick to be taken by Forest Green about 15 yards outside the penalty area, and just to the right and edge of that same penalty area. So it's an angle which will favour a left-footed in-swinging delivery, and I'm sure that's what we'll see from Mondalia.
Yeah, Perkins is going to have to be brighter than that. QT use all the experience to get bowled by Brown. They'll be looking for that now for the screen. Try and isolate the ageing legs of Perkins up against Brown. He's in such fine form.
So plenty forward. 7 targets here for Mondal. Left-footed ball, swung in, lovely shape on it, and it's hit! Mills with the goal that ties it up on aggregate after 11 minutes. Third set piece for Tranmere to defend, and the defending was all over the place. One straight run from Mills, got goal side of his marker. Don't know whether the goalkeeper David saw it late, or maybe there was a slight deflection in front of him, but on initial viewing it looked as though he didn't really cover himself in glory. And Forest Green lead, tie it up, and with 78 minutes of the second half still to go, they lead 1-0 offside, and it's 1-1 aggregate.
It's a you actually think that this is going to be, but because he's such a danger, I think he's well marshalled, and it just allows Mills to slip on the blind side and just force his header goalwards. I think it goes down as a bad goalkeeper. Davis has been such a big player for Tranmere. It was bitterly disappointing he hasn't got that one out.
Well, no side have kept more clean sheets in the regular season. Tranmere Rovers. Of course, that one left the other night, she said 20th in 47 games of this season. But our defence has been breached tonight by Forest Greenside, who failed to score for their last home game, which was the draw with Exeter, but that's now their only failure in 15 matches here. Well, that sets it up beautifully. 1-0 Forest Green on the run. 1-1 the aggregate score. 5th goal of the season. George Mills. And flags up against Boyd. Come back into the Tranmere half. The field up from an offside position. So a free kick to the visitors. Goal scorer Joseph Mills, the captain, a man with plenty of championship experience with Southampton at the start of his career, and then with Doncaster and Reading as well. And he spent the last couple of years out in Australia playing for Perth Glory. And the free kick is being taken, as is the right of Tranmere, inside the Forest Green half. That's where Boyd interfered with play. So that was where Tranmere took the free kick from. It was absolutely correct. There's some arguments about it, but it was the correct decision. Free kicks to nothing. Shepherd will pick it up, the right back for Forest Green, down by his own corner flag. He clears it long, looking for Boyd, beaten in the air by Moth. And then it comes off Monbao without a play for a throw taken on the Tranmere left. Forest Green 1, Tranmere 0.
I don't think that Tranmere have actually started too badly. You know, they've got some balls in and around the 18-yard box. It's quite dangerous. The two wingers coming in off the line and looking the play just switched off terribly. It's too difficult to try and see it once to actually identify who was marking Mills. But he's been another one. He's been a massive player for Forest Green. He must be close to their player of the year. Excellent set piece taker, bombing up and down that left hand side and chipping in with vital goals as well.
And now Mondal will make his way forward here for Forest Green. They've got the tails up, ball work down the right hand touch line, held up by Grubb, but brought away neatly by Jennings, who used the full width of the pitch but no more. As he played it forward looking for Norwood, it was cut out well by Collins, the deepest lying of the three central midfielders for Forest Green. Converted centre half just doing a good job in there, sitting in front of the two centre halves in behind him. Forest Green can bring it away again, and Banks is going on Court Mills. The first yellow card of the game shown by referee Hilton.
Just fantastic play again, just shifted over to the left hand side, and Mills is bright, he's fresh. Banks is a shield in there, but he's not the most mobile of central midfield players. There's going to be a little bit of a mismatch, but what a fantastic start from Mills over there. He was sort of a young protege, a lot of fun for him when he was a young kid. I remember him being brought to Swindon and shown round, and I tried to lure him into signing for the football club, but yeah, he's certainly someone who's taken a little bit of a time to find a home, but they're telling him this young, vibrant side that Mark Heber's put together.
Another free kick twice. Penalty areas, there's supporting and shoving going on at the top post there. It was not Charlton. But but the referee's assistant near touchline wasn't interested. Richard Weil raised his flag. Thought there was just as much pain for the athlete as the two companies were in direct confrontation. Forest 1, Tranmere 0, 1-1 an aggregate. More play action going tomorrow. Aston Villa from the Hawthorns, with Villa leading that 2-1 for the first leg. Wednesday, it's Leeds against Derby. Thursday, Watford against Sunderland here on Talksport 2 from 6. On Friday, join me in the Valley for Charlton against Doncaster. The second leg of that coming your way this Friday. Then, a small matter of the FA Cup final Saturday, Manchester City against Watford. Can they be the first English side ever to complete the domestic double? So, facing the match at Wembley on Saturday afternoon, live on Talksport from 3. Tranmere swing a ball inside the Forest Green areas, and all come on for Mills to try and control. Just make sure he kept his arms out of the way. It's come off his thigh. Gone out of play for a corner, and his manager turns to the rest of the staff and just indicates that he felt that should have been clatter clearing out for a throw. It is the corner, which is Tranmere's first. So left-footed in, swinging delivery towards the near post. Mondal ducked out of the way of it, trusting his goalkeeper in behind him, and giving him a loud shout, and Ward, having caught it, then runs to the edge of the penalty area and bowls it out for Shepherd. Shepherd can turn on halfway, playing it forward. There's a wonderful dummy by Brown. Deutsch has got Grubb to his right-hand side. Shepherd's continued his run. Dale Grubb can't get into a shooting position. Pulls it back for Winchester. To Grubb again outside the box. To Mondal. Mondal going to ground. No foul by Perkins. More from Harris. Collins continuing his run for Forest Green. Nice play to Deutsch. Right angle left-hand side of the box, but he can't get a shot in. And Caprice is able to clear, but it was a wonderful free-flowing move from Forest Green that led to that passage of play.
It was those two combining, Christian Deutsch and Reece Brown, middle of the pitch, lovely little over. I thought Christian Deutsch should have just taken it on himself and tried to commit the last defender, maybe get a strike away. In the end, gifted it right, and a real lack of width for Forest Green, crowded out, despite the amount of Tranmere defenders who had got back goal side, crowded the middle of the pitch, but really good enterprising football from the two main men from Forest Green.
Ball's gone out of play for another hotly contested throw. It is a Tranmere throw, taken by Ridehouse, back from Mont. From him to his right-hand side for Sid Nelson. Player on loan from Millwall. Out to Caprice. Caprice to the right flank for Morris. I haven't seen too much of Kieran Morris now on that right flank, but Caprice on the overlap is able to drive the ball in. It's easily fielded and controlled by McGinley, who will then bring it away from outside his penalty area. Then, having done so and drawn Norwood and Morris out of position, lays it back to his goalkeeper. And Ward, in salmon pink tonight, has got all the time in the world to control it and then launch it, but he's put it straight out of play over halfway for a throw, which is going to be taken on the Tranmere right-hand side. Forest Green 1, Tranmere Rovers 0. The sun, everybody's glad on this side of the ground, just setting now and behind the trees on the far touchline, which makes it much easier to see the spectacle. And it's the left back for Tranmere, Ridehouse, who plays it forward into the feet of Jennings. Back from him to Perkins. There's a little bit of space in the midfield for Tranmere to work. Norwood dropping deeper, then feeds it out towards the left-hand side for Harris. His ball inside the penalty area. It's controlled. Little set-up for Norwood, but it's knocked away from him easily by Carl Winchester. And Deutsch will play it back to Rawson, and he controls it neatly, tidily, on the edge of his own penalty area and finds Mondal before Righthouse's challenge puts it out of play for a goal kick. So 20 minutes in, Forest Green leading Tranmere by a goal nil after Joseph Mills' header on 12 minutes. 1-1 on aggregate. Part of our team tonight, reporter Lawrence Moore. What have you made of the early stages, Lawrence?
Yeah, good evening, guys. It's been really fascinating to watch the battle between the two sides, and the managers on the sidelines. Mickey Mellon in particular, he was very frustrated at what he's seen from his side so far. Hands on hips at the moment. He's been ushering his players to try and get the ball quicker out wide, which is part of their tactics. But Mark Cooper looking by far the more cool, calm and collected, although after the ball's just been booted out, he's had a head in his hands at the moment.
Lawrence, thank you. It's only the ninth game between these two. Tranmere have only won 2 of the Group 8. Forest Green have won 4 of them, including that playoff final a couple of years ago. Ball bouncing just outside the penalty area. Winchester takes it forward. He hit the referee. That worked very well for Forest Green. He's deflected into the path of the Brown. And sliding damage from Nelson, who was almost out of control as he went in very strongly on Brown. Ball out towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, and it's off Shepherd for a corner. Tranmere second of the game. Midway through the first half, Forest Green Waller.
He's not much ball in James Norwood, but that little bit of involvement was really good. He came off, he was right with his little touch, little chest pass, and Jennings actually tried to return the favour with a little set, just trying to get him into a shooting position, but just coming into the game last few moments, winning the corner.
Norwood amongst those jockeying for position as the ball is fired in and it away. Forest Ridehouse back down towards Morris. Morris turning it round the corner. Jennings has run from an onside position despite the claims of Liam Shepherd to the contrary. And it's out for a throw which will be taken on the Tranmere left-hand side as they look to get themselves back into this game. Just a reminder, away goals don't count in these playoff semi-finals. It doesn't matter whether this ends up being one for Forest Green as it is now 5-4 to Forest Green. We would go to extra time if the home side's a goal up after 90. Month will play back to Banks. Banks continues his run through midfield. The tall defensive-minded midfielder for Tranmere as Perkins has it. Perkins slipping it to his right-hand side for Harris, and now out towards Jake Caprice, the former Leighton Orient man who has spent in Scotland with St Mirren. Ball back on the halfway line for Tranmere as Harris works it wide out towards Ridehouse on the left-hand touchline, and he's played it back again for Perkins in the midfield. Perkins towards the edge of the penalty area. Forest Green behind the ball. It is on Banks. He's trying for a repeat of his shot the other day. That one a low skill from a similar kind of range, but hiding to his left-hand side was a very claim the end to Lewis Ward.
Once again, a lot of rotation in that midfield three. Banks has obviously been the deeper one in the first game, and again from the off tonight, but now it looks like Perkins is kind of playing alongside him. Harris a little bit more advanced, more like a 4-2-3-1 the last 5-10 minutes. I don't know if Mickey Mellon's maybe just tinkered one or two things, but certainly that bit of rotation there enabling him to get into a shooting position. And Forest Green should have learned really from that first game.
A few moments ago, Laura Blood as well, sound area action for them. If they don't beat Hamilton, then they will be in the relegation playoffs. 0-0 midway through the first half. We'll keep you updated with events from Paisley this evening. 4 points between those two 11 through 10 to 20 in the Scottish Premiership at the moment. Forest Green leading this one 1-0 with the former Forest Green player Month. Laying it back to his right side for Nelson. He's had a long swing earlier this season. Back to Rideout. Over the halfway line. Let's get it away from Mondale. Go down the touchline for Jennings. Jennings. Shadow. The move by Shepherd. Idea to link up between Jennings and the fullback Ridehouse, making a run past him, but in the pass overhead it goes through to Garfield McWard, who will just chip it out down towards the right-hand touchline for Shepherd. He will Talksport 2, all the crowd games for 5 on the Talksport network. This one, 1-0 Forest Green at the moment. Ollie Banks towards Tranmere, gets it away, but towards halfway, we allow his side to regroup. Couldn't get the ball back, and Mondale now with an opportunity to run at the Tranmere back line. He just passes that chance up, lays it back instead for Brown. Brown to Shepherd. Brown just playing on the shoulder of Perkins, trying to find a yard of space. Hard to make that little deep, but Collins trying to force it through towards Mondale, but he overlooks it. Goes out for a goal kick head and all the way to our right-hand side. It is utilising about before kick-off down. It's a beautiful setting here. A glorious vista away to our right-hand side, particularly the hills up towards Gloucester and Cheltenham. And then over on the far side, the wildlife at close quarters. Compact little arena. They're looking to move from here, as we heard from the chairman talking. This ground holds just a shade over 5,000. The newer one to the west of here will be significantly bigger than that. And it's a beautiful setting. Ball winning the free kick in the midfield for Tranmere. It's on the edge of the centre circle. And a yard inside towards the centre circle as he finds the Priest. Quickly taken free kick back. Let's happen. Extraordinary goal scoring record. Played this out there. Back to him. Oh, what a finish that is from Norwood. Forest Green supporters know exactly what he's all about. That's a magnificent goal from Norwood, involved in the build-up, and a right-footed volley executed to perfection. His 93rd goal in Tranmere. Big one as well. Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1, and Tranmere have the lead again. More balance had that support for Perkins as a whole midfield play. Just give them a little bit more security in there. Too wide, right up there now, alongside Norwood, if you like, in a 4-2-3-1. It's the movement they're doing, in off that right hand side. The awareness to set it back to the main man who's arriving right on cue, Norwood, and the finish unerring across the keeper right into the far corner of the net. It's a quite brilliantly crafted goal with a wonderful finish on the end of it. Missed some chances in the first day. Learned a chance to be back tonight, and he put it away with aplomb. The man who scored the goal that won promotion for Tranmere last May. Scored more than 50 for Forest Green. He scored more than 90 now for Tranmere. That's his 32nd of the season in all competitions. And he scored in front of the Forest Green fans who booed his name when the teams were read out earlier, and he just walked over to them. No reaction from him at all, but just walked over. That's by volumes. A little bit of fire in the band now. 1-1 on the night. 2-1 Tranmere on aggregate. As the visitors have their tails up and Mark Cooper, the Forest Green boss, controlling defensively. Hungrily on the edge of the technical area. Free kick to Tranmere, be taken over on the right hand side from their fans who are the entire length of that touchline over on the right flank. Tranmere is helping from right to left. Their notes here is a free to the full air. Slow, the right hand side, put it in. Stumbled down from Barnes skipping right, and that's a little bit of a mismatch. Thanks to the tour of the two players, but the delivery was poor. It high-fived everybody, and Lewis Ward could come and make a comfortable catch. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 to Tranmere in aggregate on Talksport 2. Sam Parker.
Well, it speaks volumes to his mentality. I wouldn't go far down. I questioned that pre-game, but I thought maybe the occasion, it was big. He snatched at a few chances on Friday, but I mean the goals, you just need to look at his tally to tell you, what type of centre forward, what type of quality League 2 footballer he's turned into. He can be playing his football at a high level next season. If Tranmere make the rise and he's banging form and in the game again here.
On the right hand side of the penalty area, this time he's not in a position to shoot. He's legal back for Caprice. And then by Collins, further away by Mills, for a 4-3 goal. They had the lead for quarter of an hour tonight. But Tranmere have the lead on aggregate again now. Mills clears his lines. Sticks to Tranmere fan over on the touchline. You listen to Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1 on Talksport 2. Goals football providing over 5 million out of fund grassroots football for the UK by 2022. Tranmere fans who are celebrating. It was a blue bomb that was thrown on in the immediate aftermath of the goal. Month will be able to bring it forward now in his yellow boots for the side for the win. On the edge of the centre circle, back with a lovely long ball brought down by Jennings. Jennings 2 yards from the left hand side, back from Reinhardt. Reinhardt to Perkins, back from Moss controlled it. And on the other side, again striking to the Jogo, I remember that, but just kept his entire body still, just moved his left foot back and struck through with the pass to the right hand side. High ball inside the area, looking for the right wing Morris. It's left arms to the goalkeeper, Lewis Ward. Started that season up on loan as well. He's currently here on loan from Reading. Had a spell at Northampton, but didn't really too much of an effect there. Certainly in league matches, more used in Cadbury Trophy games. Clearance from the heads in the midfield, headed back down by Caprice. 30 defence. But there are a lot more twists and turns in this game now. Back to his keeper. The clear by Scott. Long right-footed ball forward. Rawson down there. Get their ball back forward. Get away. They're back forward before shooting to the ground. Referee said no. He's going to his foot. Looks over a clear free kick from Spring's way. Norwood tries to find a way through. Rawson ground. Norwood went his man and shut it back in position to clear. Right sets it for Perkins. Back to right house again. Scoop to the outside of the right boot. Banksford. Bouncing on the edge of the penalty area. The ball's overhit and goes all the way through to Forest Green goal. The Lewis Wall. It's 1-1 with 31 minutes on the clock.
Well, it was a big 5-10 minutes for Forest Green after they scored. The emotion of the occasion just as they concentrated, and I thought that they did that relatively well, and they actually carved open Tranmere and had 1 or 2 more half chances. I think we just have to credit Tranmere for that they've come up in their first and second ball at the moment. So I think thanks for getting a little bit more support from Perkins in and around there now, allowing Harris to move forward and being close to proximity to try to Norwood. That's where the goal came from. Tranmere just being a little bit more risky, I suppose, and pushing players in towards the centre forward. But it was a fantastic crafted goal. Yes, Forest Green could have defended it better, but let's credit the movement and the quality in the pass as well into Jennings and the set that enabled Norwood to get his strike away.
It was a moment a few seconds ago where Forest Green had the ball in the midfield. They went back to the goalkeeper and Mark his hands up in the air. Especially a little bit more responsibility to be more proactive than they've been. We've got 13 to go to half time. One of the match from here. 4-1. After Norwood bias from Joseph Mills. In goal. Chris Banks on that one. Right, fall from the get away on the edge of the penalty area and get under no pressure, but already got second ball to the line. Morrison, and then Merrick from Montemobile from certainly had the majority of possession in the last 10-15 minutes or so. Another long ball break for his Ireland Ward. And in the box, and they got them down to 10 right from the 1-0 again that style needed to win tonight. This one square 1-1. Ball is played through the midfield, not going up for it with Boyd. They haven't been able to get Christian Boyd in the ball, and Tranmere much more proactive the front one. Containing the solution back, plays it down towards the left-hand touchline. Well, ball give a little push by Brown, but the ball's come off him and gone out of play for a Forest Green throw.
Yeah, I'm just in the position of Brown, and he's surrounded back there almost alongside Collins now. Let's look at Harris's position. He's right up there. Advanced midfield role, kind of in and around Norwood now. So Reece Brown's doing all of his work in a defensive half now, where early part of the game he was the one getting the ball, linking the play and looking to release Doyle, as he has the last few weeks. At the moment, he's shuffling side to side and he just won't stop. What is it? Impressive Tranmere currently.
Well, that's 60% of the ball, which is not similar. Now, 10 men. Brian Lamb has 62. When he stops at 4 and Tranmere player in that, it's bad out of course. You make the advantage out of 75 minutes of the game after Gavin Gunning's dismissal. He didn't have a single shot at that first set. He only had one tonight in the ahead of the goal. In the front of Forest, and the other that one goal from Stefan Benno into the top right hand corner. I get the allocation that he needed. Not to be caught in the end by Davis. It will make 1-1.
He's a couple of runs actually inside left now. One he had to recycle, come out and set the fullback, but there taking on himself and picking far post. He's a player who knows a fantastic goal for his record in non-league football. He's just not converted that lengthy enough into a DFL form. But player I like, he can handle a football, he keeps possession well for his team. Just needs to try and play what he did in the non-league.
Yes, he was in the Southern League, in the Conference South as well with Western, but just the 6 goals for him so far for Forest Green this season. His last coming way back in November in a Checkatrade Trophy game against the Arsenal youngsters. Ball's gone out of play. The fans of the Super White Army over on the far touchline. Ball back with Collins to the edge of his penalty area. Rawson hurriedly, having to get rid of the ball, drives it down towards Leo Shepherd on the touchline. And Rawson will be able to bring it forward again. Takes a touch, rolls the studs of his right boot over the top of the ball and then launches it forward, but Doyle has been very naughty control by Nelson so far. Gunnings to Perkins. Perkins down to the left-hand touchline for the Tranmere goal scorer Norwood, who's brought a free kick there from Rawson. And it's a free kick which will take it about 6 yards inside the Forest Green half. It remains 1-1 with 9 minutes to go to half-time in this second leg. Tranmere 2-1 up on aggregate. As things stand, if there are no further goals, it will be Tranmere against Newport a week on Saturday, live on Talksport. Final, of course, at Wembley, Saturday, 3 o'clock. A week Saturday. Right House's ball forward. Winchester hasn't really been able to exert the influence in the game that he would like. Another who so adept with the ball at his feet, the Northern Ireland international. Caprice for Tranmere. Finding Ollie Banks. Banks put under pressure by Brown, lays it back to Nelson. Nelson's got Monk to his left, he's got his keeper behind him, and that's the pass that he plays. David just waves everybody forward before hitting a long central ball from 60-70 yards upfield. Forest Green win it with Winchester. Played it down to the dark-haired fullback Shepherd, and now to Rawson. Rawson to McGinley. And McGinley will turn, the former Middlesbrough trainee who, when he made his move to Forest Green permanent back in the winter, finds his goalkeeper. Long ball launched forward from him, over halfway. Mondale comes to meet him. Bright House has had him covered for most of the night so far. So again there. The ball is laid back to the Tranmere goalkeeper Davis. One back by Shepherd. Just got a little reminder off the ball there from Jennings. Month has it. Inside his own half. Play forward. Lovely little chest shot from Norwood, guiding down into the path of Jennings. Mills can bring it away. And we'll find Reece Brown. Turn. Trying to get Mills going on the overlap, and now the pressure will be applied to the goalkeeper, but the back pass was true, and easily cleared by Davis. The ball very quickly back to Forest Green territory again, but they've had more of the ball in the last 4 or 5 minutes after a period of Tranmere domination. This Forest Green have had the recent possession. Back it goes again from McGinley. 10 yards outside his box, and he'll turn back to his goalkeeper. 6 to go to half-time, Tranmere 1-1.
Yeah, they'll be pleased to have a little touch of the ball, Jim, because it's been a fantastic spell. You have to say 15-20 minutes from trying to really dominating the midfield area. Norwood coming into the game, growing into the game, and you can see he's got that real bit between his teeth. His hold up play since the goal, been immaculate. His awareness, just little one-touch, little chest passes round the corner, keeping it alive for his side. And after a bright opening from Forest Green, you'd have to take Mickey Mellon. If it stays like this going in at half time, he'll be absolutely delighted with the response of his team.
Well, the floodlights on the far touchline, they're just beginning to pierce the early evening gloom. You see the little reflections, the last of the sun for the night, just over the hill on the far touchlines. The ball is played back through the midfield again from Shepherd. Shepherd and Mondale. Mondale square to his left-hand side for Reece Brown. The challenge comes from Jay Harris, but Brown's done well to retain possession of Forest Green, riding that challenge and working back with Winchester. Now to Shepherd, right foot ball in from him, and it comes off Jennings and out of play for a corner. Forest Green second of the night, and they've already scored from set piece. Not creating too much from open plays. This likely to be a profitable avenue for them. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Mondale preparing to take this corner. Grubb goes and stands in front of the goalkeeper. Rawson and McGinley making their runs from deep. He's towards the corner of the 6-yard box. It's an acrobatic but very effective diving heading clearance from Jay Harris. Winchester wins it back, goes back to Shepherd, who's the last man, and he will then bring it forward. And he's got Morris following him back. Ball played back for the ponytail captain Mills towards the edge of the penalty area. Grubb turning it back for Mills. Forward away, Matt in the middle. He's got time to pick somebody out. It's Deutsch at the far post. It's a really good vital defensive header from Ridehouse. Back from Mondal now on the Forest Green right. This is better from the hosts. Shepherd to Winchester. Winchester trying to get away from Norwich challenge. Brown with a clever flick. Mondal couldn't just replicate the precision of the pass that had found him. The move breaks down. Tranmere get it away, but it's like flicking a switch from the home side. A much better spell over the last 90 seconds. Then the ball is laid short, and Harris, attacking a ball that was there to be won, certainly caught his man late. And it's going to be a free kick to Tranmere. It was there to be won, but was he out of control as he made the challenge? It certainly was what the Forest Green players were arguing about. That's been a game that's been played in quite good spirit tonight, which a few of us weren't necessarily expecting after the red card the other night and a few other challenges. A couple of other players many observers felt could have been sent off as well. A little bit of bad blood between the two sides, but so far just a one yellow card shown to Ollie Banks. In fact, the referee didn't even think that was a bad enough challenge to warrant a free kick. Play restart to the throw for Jake Caprice. Deutsch heading it back, but Perkins has won it back for Tranmere. Norwood's going to chase. McGinley has the move back to his goalkeeper, blocked off, so in the end he just gets his body in the way and shepherds him out for a throw which will be taken down by the corner flag over on the far touchline. 3 to go to half time on Talksport 2. Jim Bradford, Sam Parkin talking through the actions. Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1.
Yeah, a bit better from Forest Green, Jim, over on the left-hand side. Isolated Caprice, 2v1 situation, and what they've got on that left-hand side is two very clever footballers in Mills and Grubb, and they're fantastic delivery. Beautifully defended, you'd have to say, by the fullback.
Now Mondal's going to chase a long through ball, and he's just got back to his goalkeeper from Ridehouse, who had no margin for error there. Mondal is quicker than him. Ridehouse, the stronger of the two, just used that upper body strength just to make sure that Mondal couldn't get past him. But had he fouled him there, that was the denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and he would have been sent off. Here's Winchester. On the right-hand side of the midfield, into the feet of Mondal. Little shove on his back from Jennings, and another free kick for Forest Green. Tranmere with the aggregate advantage. It would still be a brave man that would say with a huge degree of conviction that they were necessarily going to get the job done inside 90 minutes. It's a difficult one to call this. And it's a free kick which was taken by Winchester, the Northern Ireland international. Floating it towards the edge of the penalty area. Header in from Rawson. Out comes the goalkeeper, Davis. Good goalkeeping there. Took it up ahead of Deutsch and collapses onto the floor with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, Christian Deutsch, I think his eyes were lit up initially, but the trajectory on the ball off the head of Rawson always making the goalkeeper favourite. But yeah, it's been slightly better the last 10 minutes, you'd have to say, from Forest Green. Still want to see a little bit more from Mondal down on this right hand side. Just lacks conviction a little bit when he gets into good positions up against the fullback. Has created the goal, but in open play, still like to see a little bit more direct running from him.
Very inexperienced at this level. It's only his 20th senior game of his career. Here's Harris on the far touchline, the Tranmere right, and he's won a free kick from Mills. Another opportunity to launch the ball in as we go into the final minute of the first half. There's not been an awful lot of stoppage time added. Probably 1, 2 at a push maybe. Free kick which will be taken over on that right hand side by Morris. And it's the cue for Month to make his way forward. Jennings is in there. Norwood inevitably just patrolling the edge of the 6-yard box. Perkins waits on the edge of the knee for any second ball that's half clear. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery. 2 minutes it will be to be added. Left-footed ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Just over the head of Sid Nelson. Punched clear by the goalkeeper. Not further clear by Brown. Back out only as far as Perkins. Back from him to Jennings on the left-hand side of the box. Jennings just looks to shape a ball into the edge of the area and then plays a reverse ball instead towards Banks. To just link a second time. Now the pressure from Brown. Banks is forced to lay it back through the midfield, but Creeks has got better kind of being under control, and he will work it out towards the Tranmere right hand side for Morris. Morris dropping his shot, laying it back to Harris. Clip forward from him. It evades the lunge of Brown. Out towards Morris again on the edge of the area. Winchester stands firm, tries to stop the ball coming in. When it does come in, it's an innocuous cross along the edge. 6-yard box, which McGinley clears, and then Monk stands firm. He towers over everybody. He's a real man mounted. He's like, if Leo Akinfenwa was a centre-half, that's the kind of physical stature that he has. He just looked over Doyle to win it. Dale Grove towards the end of the area. His right effort hits Nelson. He had his right-hand side. He went for goal. And Tranmere can bring it away. We'll do so with Jay Harris. Harris works down to the right-hand side. He was fouled there off the ball by Winchester. The referees played the advantage. Into the second minute of stoppage time. 1-1 on the night. 2-1 Tranmere lead it on aggregate. And the ball has gone down to the right-hand side again for Norwood. The score of the Tranmere equaliser after Joseph Mills had given Forest Green the lead. And Norwood's done well to run the clock down a little bit and win a throw, which will be taken over on that far touchline by the corner flag. And a yellow card has been shown for that earlier challenge from Collins in the midfield. The referee had played the advantage, or is it Winchester that he's cautioning? I think it is... well, Collins is arguing a toss. Not sure which of the two was actually booked there, whether it was Collins or Winchester. It is a throw, which will be taken by Caprice. I think it is Winchester for the challenge. I thought for a moment it might be a case of mistaken identity with Collins arguing the toss, but it is Winchester who's in the book. The ball cleared by Mondal. High ball forward through the midfield. Gets the edge of the centre circle, and Monk lays it back for his goalkeeper. And Scott Davis just waiting for everybody to push forward, and there's no time for him to clanter it upfield. It's the Tranmere fans that cheer as the half-time whistle goes. They're 45 minutes away from Wembley and a playoff final date with Newport. Joseph Mills giving Forest Green the lead. Tranmere, in the regular league season, lost 16 of the 20 games in which they went 1-0 down, but they have levered themselves back into this one with a goal from Norwood. It's 1-1 on the night. And at half-time in the second leg, it's Tranmere who are 2-1 up on aggregate. Thank you, Ray. Well, the two sets of players are coming out from the far corner of the ground. There's no tunnel as such. There is a low, one-storied building in one corner of the ground, and that's from where the players emerge the dressing room area over there. And it looks as though there's going to be a change for Forest Green, because George Williams, the Welsh international, is stripped and ready for action, and he's going to be coming on for the hosts in a moment. My question to you, Sammy, was going to be, what do Forest Green do to try and get more possession, to try and create more opportunities? It looks as though the answer is George Williams, but how is it all going to work, do you think? What do they need to do in play to get him into the game that they haven't been able to do so far?
Well, I actually feel that Tranmere Rovers have probably got more quality, more depth in their squad if you look at their bench, but Williams is the one, Jim, certainly in the Forest Green ranks who can come on and have an effect. He's someone that I looked towards at the start of the season and felt if he could start chipping in with some goals, a serious return, they could have got themselves in amongst the automatic positions. It hasn't been able to happen for him really, but he's a very technically good player, and he's someone who will come in and play in between the lines, similar to Grubb. So they're going to lose that if you want someone who's going to hug the touchline. That Mondal did a little bit in the first half, but I think the game looked a little bit too big for him, Jim. We spoke about that, didn't we, towards the tail end of the first half. Williams has got a bit more experience under his belt, very technically good player, scored at Fulham. Hopefully for Mark Cooper's sake he can have an impact.
So it is Mondal that's come off. George Williams that comes on. 6 years he had at Craven Cottage. Forest Green make it through to the final. It will be mentioned on a couple of occasions that he scored a hat-trick against Newport earlier this season. So Williams on for the second half. That's the only change. I'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. We're back underway. Tranmere white shirts, blue shorts and socks. They're kicking from left to right. Forest Green in lime green with black trim. And they have a throw to be taken over on the right-hand side by their right back, Liam Shepherd. It's Wall in goal, Shepherd, Rawson, McGinley and Mills, Winchester, Collins and Brown in midfield, and then Williams, Doidge and Grubb the forward three. Tranmere, Davis in goal, Caprice, Nelson, Monthon, Ridehouse, Banks anchors the midfield, and then it's Morris, Harris, Perkins and Jennings and Norwood up front. The ball is headed away at the back by Collins for Forest Green. It'll be returned down towards Norwood. Norwood involved in the challenge with McGinley, and Norwood ended up on the deck. McGinley puts his hands out, looking pleadingly at the assistant referee, as if to say you're going to have a word with him for that. Well, but the free kick has been given. I think McGinley thought that was extremely soft. Free kick which will be taken on the Tranmere right-hand side. They're 2-1 up on aggregate. The ball swept in by Morris inside the penalty area. It might have been a free header there for Sid Nelson, I think it was, who couldn't quite time his jump. Just seemed to lose sight of the flight of the ball as it was swept in. Maybe he would have been offside. Maybe he thought he was going to be offside, but make no contact at all, and it drifts away and out of play. And then the free kick is, the goal kick is taken short towards McGinley, who had Norwood on his shoulder. The goalkeeper still played the pass, so McGinley had to step inside the penalty area, so they'll retake it. I know I bang on about this all the time. Got to change that. That should be an indirect free kick to Tranmere, because he's deliberately gained an advantage by breaking the law, and it's just a retake. But you play to the laws that are there. First chance for George Williams for Forest Green, who's pushed to the ground by Harris, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Forest Green, about 25 yards outside the penalty area in a very central position, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really have lacked width, I think, so far this evening, and that's only going to add to it with Williams coming on. Him and Grubb are going to want to come infield and try and link the play, get into the pocket. So it'll be interesting to see if Mark Cooper does change the system, if it does stay like this, and maybe try and encourage Shepherd and Mills to get forward on the flanks. But for the moment, I think it's all going to be played kind of in the middle of the pitch and in the middle third, and see if they can prise Tranmere open like that.
This is a mile out, but it's a two-man wall, and Williams has shaped up as if he's going to hit this. Right-footed, he's gone for goal. He's certainly got the power, didn't quite get the direction. He's pulled it wide of the left-hand post as we look at it. Scott Davis scampered across his line, would have had it covered by the time the ball got there, but from fully 37, 38 yards out, he didn't half give it a right larrup, but it went wide. 1-1 still, 2-1 to Tranmere on aggregate.
It was a decent effort, wasn't it? It's almost like David Luiz technique, the side foot from considerable distance, very nearly working the goalkeeper. That'll do his confidence some good, just coming into the field. It looks like Brown's position's a little bit higher now. Looks like Winchester's just going to tuck in maybe alongside Collins, and Brown just getting into closer proximity with Deutsch, because it's not been his night so far. It's not been his tie, Christian Deutsch. That one opportunity in the first leg where he maybe could have had a penalty, but he needs players in and around him, especially when he's been, marshalled by such a physical pair of centre halves.
He's got 14 goals this season, Christian Deutsch, for Forest Green, 1 in a loan spell at Bolton in the Championship, but he came back here for well-documented reasons. He's 14 for Forest Green, to come at an average of 1 every other game. His goal-scoring record is outstanding. Big score against Tranmere in that playoff final a couple of years ago. We're looking for what will be his 40th goal for the club tonight in 78 appearances. That's a very tidy return. Ball's knocked away by Banks in the midfield for Tranmere. Norwood able to just drop in between the lines. He got away from Winchester, but not McGinley, who's dealt with him relatively effectively. McGinley's clearance goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Sid Nelson on the Tranmere right-hand side. And Nelson complaining, saying, give me the ball, I want to restart play quickly. Absolutely no chance he wanted to restart play quickly. The Forest Green fans not in a hurry to return the ball to the Tranmere players, and obviously they want as many seconds out of the game at the moment as they can to give themselves a chance of getting back on level terms on aggregate. It is 1-1 on the night. Ball headed away by Mills, score of the opener, the Forest Green goal. Back from Nelson, high ball fall from him, knocked away, and then Brown tries to bring it down in the heart of the midfield. But Tranmere have it back. It's worked wide by Morris out towards the corner flag. Harris hooks his foot around it. Back for Morris. Oh, slight miscue from McGinley. He's got away with it. It'll fall there for Banks. Right-footed effort was really well struck along the ground. McGinley got in the line of fire of that one as well. And it ricochets into Tranmere territory for Manny Month. And he will spring the ball down and find David Perkins. Perkins back for Nelson. Now play forward through the midfield out towards Harris. Harris with a little flip that was perhaps a little bit too intricate. Went behind Caprice. Mills put the pressure on him. Nelson forced to clear. Back from the head of McGinley. Brought down by Harris. Harris just loops it up easy for Carl Winchester to bring that under control for Forest Green, and then McGinley will clear his lines again. High ball forward. Nelson slightly mistimes his header. Apps comes back. Reece Brown picks it up, hooks it through the midfield. Williams running onto it, trying to work the angle now on the edge of the penalty area. Backheel flick from him for Brown. On the left-hand side of the area is Grubb. The momentum comes out of the attack, but Forest Green still have it. Grubb back for Brown. Brown working it wide through the midfield for Collins, and now out towards Liam Shepherd. Forest Green's best move of the second half. Shepherd on the right-hand side of the penalty area, just trying to find a way through. Has he won a corner? Yes, he has, after the stumble from Connor Jennings. It is the first corner of the second half for either side, won by Forest Green. 6 gone since the break, and it's still 1-1 as Forest Green look for the aggregate equaliser.
And that wouldn't have happened in the first half because Doidge, irrelevant if he wins the header or not, there wasn't players in and around him. Now that Brown's position is higher, he can react, keep the ball alive. Williams moves it on. It's a really slick move actually from Forest Green, but I think Mark Cooper's team, he said, Brown, you go and play higher up as a number 10, getting in around the centre forward.
Month has got his arms all around Rawson as it comes in. It's headed away by Norwood, so effective both penalty areas from set pieces. Winchester wins the loose ball, turns it back for Shepherd. Shepherd brings it forward away from Norwood, and still Shepherd makes progress towards the edge of the penalty area. The ball goes down towards the right hand side. Williams has done well, he's got round Harris, right footed ball in towards the near post. Doidge was just sniffing around, but it was too close to the goalkeeper, who could collapse onto the ball at the foot of the post and make a save. But the home side have been a different prospect since half-time, since making that change, taking Mondale off and bringing Williams on. They look a little bit more purposeful. It is 1-1 with 7 minutes gone since half-time.
He's been terrific, hasn't he? First couple of little bits of involvement. Williams just lost his foot in there, just as he looked to flash the cross towards the near post, and it's the starting positions of those two wide players now. Grubb really high up on the left-hand side. Williams likewise up against the full-back. Brown and Banks, that's going to be a one-on-one confrontation in there now, and Doidge with some support.
And Norwood has headed it on. Mills has gone down injured. It's an opportunity for Jennings potentially inside the area. He's been shoved by Winchester. Winchester then went to ground. Referee says play on, and Forest Green bring it away, but Williams can't find the through ball that was necessary. Well, Tranmere, I think, thought that they should have had a penalty. Winchester shoulder to shoulder there with Jennings, but ultimately the referee just let play continue. Forest Green broke up the attack, and the ball is back with the Tranmere goalkeeper now, Scott Davis. 1-1 the scoreline, 8 minutes into the second half.
Thought he did really well there, Jennings, just to ease out Winchester and get the strike away. Forest Green player throwing himself at the ball, getting the vital block. Referee not interested in the penalty appeals, but just showing the danger that Tranmere have got, and it's a really difficult proposition now for Forest Green. If they throw caution to win, one more goal from Tranmere surely you'd think would be that.
Williams plays it down towards the left-hand touchline for Mills. The regular season, Forest Green did the double over Tranmere, beating them 3-1 here, 1-0 on the Wirral now. Mills has gone down, holding his face. It's the second time in about a minute that Mills has been caught off the ball, and he's still down holding his face, and the Forest Green bench far from happy about that. Wasn't spotted by the officials. Play goes on. Harris hooking the ball inside the penalty area. A little feisty element which wasn't really there in the first half, is just bubbling towards the surface now. Mark Cooper is having a word with the fourth official, Neil Hare, about that challenge. Mills back on his feet, still holding his nose, back in position again, and play will go on with Brown. Brown down towards the left-hand touchline for Mills. Mills faced up by Kieran Morris. Ball play through the midfield for Reece Brown. Brown, 15 outside the penalty area, working into the feet of Doidge. It ricochets back off Perkins. Another excellent defensive midfield run from him, just attracting the ball to him. Tranmere get it away. Norwood can't hold it up. McGinley works it wide for Shepherd. Shepherd playing it back to Rawson inside the centre circle as the check goes overhead, making its way out west, out towards the Atlantic, just cutting a path across the darkening blue sky. A gorgeous evening here in Gloucestershire as Perkins brings it forward and towards the left-hand side of the midfield. 10 minutes gone in the second half, a 1-1. And the ball is back with Ridehouse, the left-back for Tranmere. His ball forward, headed away effectively by McGinley, who has followed Norwood here, there and everywhere. Puts that one out of play for a throw. The ball is swiftly returned to the left-back Ridehouse from those Tranmere fans on the far side. 56 on the clock, one apiece.
In the past, he's the fullback now for Forest Green. Certainly Shepherd on the far side, because Williams and Grant, they're intelligent footballers. They're taking their markers infield. If a Forest Green player can just switch that ball, I think that's the outlet now. Certainly Shepherd over on the far side, just miscontrolled on that last occasion, and that's been the story certainly of a few of the Forest Green players. Nice, Christian Deutsch's touch has not been as assured as you come to expect with him. It's not been his evening at the other end of the pitch. Norwood still looking like a threat, everything sticking. Could be a tale of two strikers this tie ultimately.
Forest Green bring it out from the back with McGinley. You're listening to Forest Green against Tranmere on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Ward's clearance finds Mills. Mills will make his way forward. Good spell of possession this from the home side. Into the feet of Dale Grubb. Grubb, slightly awkward control, but effectively maintaining possession, as does Winchester just about in the midfield. Everybody stopped. Winchester looks as though he's fouled by Banks, but play goes on, and Norwood will be able to bring it away. Norwood a yard into the right-hand touchline. He's got Caprice ahead of him. Caprice just stops the ball and then lays it back for Banks. Banks swings the ball out to the left-hand touchline, and it's gone out of play for a Forest Green throw. But Lawrence Moore, our report, fair to say, Mark Cooper didn't agree with a couple of those refereeing decisions.
Yeah, Mark Cooper absolutely furious at what's been going on. He's in the ear of the fourth official, Neil Hare. He was furious that the free kick wasn't given in the middle of their hands up. He's taken his coat off, thrown it to the ground in disgust. But yeah, fair to say, not happy man at the moment.
Winchester has possession for Forest Green. He'll just bring it into a central position. Good ball out towards the right-hand side. Shepherd pulls it back. It's Williams inside the penalty area. The angle too tight for a shot. Little backheel flick towards Shepherd, but it was read by Jennings, who will clear his lines and put it out of play for a Forest Green throw. 1-1.
Yeah, certainly getting some joy now through Shepherd. Beautifully found on that occasion. Ball slipped into Williams. I thought that he was thinking about maybe going down, looking for the penalty. In the end, Tranmere defended it well, but it's a good spell from Forest Green.
Brown works out towards the right flank. Deutsch was waiting. Goalkeeper Davis able to get the cross. It was just a little bit too floaty, maybe. It just gave the goalkeeper more of a chance as Deutsch attacked it along with Nelson, but the goalkeeper got there before the pair of them. And it is 1-1. We've played nearly an hour. Forest Green's home form not great. Worst home goal tally of the top 16 sides in League 2. They won only 8 of the 23 home games they played in the regular season, which was 3 less than all the others in the top half. Here's Williams now making his way forward. He's had a penalty. He's gone down on the edge of the penalty area. And the referee says no. Tranmere able to bring it away. And significantly, I think, no real appeals from Williams that it should have been a spot kick.
Wasn't a huge appeal, was it? My first thought was it was close. Looked like he'd read the flight of the ball. Williams was really sharp getting in behind Month, and looked to be contact from here. But as you say, Jim, it wasn't one of those huge appeals from a number of the Forest Green players. Referee confident to wave it away.
It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Forest Green, 15 yards inside their own half. Mark Cooper, I think, still chuntering away as well about the treatment that Joseph Mills got. And replays, I understand, we haven't got monitors here, but replays, I understand, do show that he did get a hand in the face, but they also show that that was no penalty just a few moments ago. Ball play forward by Brown. Here is Williams, who's certainly been lively in the 15 minutes that he's been on. Forest Green had the opportunity to switch the play here with Joseph Mills, the captain, and making his way forward down the left-hand side, and Tranmere defending pretty narrow, got no one anywhere near it. Ball's gone out of play for a throw, ultimately over on the far touchline, and Mills is furious, trying to get a message across to the central midfielders that the switch is on. It's on all the time, particularly out to the Forest Green left, but it's a pass that they're just reluctant to play.
Well, it is, and it's because they've got the security now of Winchester tucked in alongside Collins, so they can be a little bit more adventurous, I think, in the full-back areas, and both teams, as I've said, have not got real width tonight, and certainly that Mark Cooper's spoken to his lads about at half-time. Switch the play. They've got two really swashbuckling full-backs in Mills and Shepherd.
Tranmere bringing it forward though at the other end. The ball inside the penalty area, which is knocked away by Mills. It was a decent delivery from Perkins. It was Morris that he tried to pick out, but Mills swept it away and it goes out of play for a throw. Tranmere half an hour away from Wembley, from a playoff final date with Newport County as they look for back-to-back promotions. Beat Boreham Wood in the playoff final last season, having of course lost to Forest Green 2 years ago. Can they make it 3 playoff finals in a row? Can they make it then ultimately 2 playoff final successes in a row? There's a nervousness, a tension around 3 sides of the new lawn at the moment. Not really on the far side. Forest Green not having too many shots on the Tranmere goal to really make those Tranny fans on the far touchline nervous and fraught. Not yet anyway. Long way to go. What they would give for that little bit of insurance. 2-1 lead on the night, Tranmere Rovers, to get a 3-1 aggregate lead. Caprice trying to bring the ball forward. Mills has cleared it, hit Caprice. Mills wasn't at all sure where the ball had gone. He was looking all round the ground, everywhere but where it was. It came right down in front of us, and now to play for a throw, which he will take. Referees just asked him to take 2 or 3 steps back, which he does, and then arches the back and launches it forward, looking for Deutsch. And then Mills goes up for it, and Harris, who was the man that put Mills on the deck 2 or 3 minutes ago, he ends up flat on the floor, facing the turf. The referee says play on, then Lewis Ward almost turned into trouble. Backing his footballing ability, just about justified in doing that. Got the ball away from Norwood, but it was a close run thing. Brown's got it. He goes back to his goalkeeper, and Ward will control it. Take a touch. This time I'm sure he will look longer. It's only the 19th senior game of his career. So plenty of inexperience in this Forest Green side. Not from this man, the captain Mills, more than 400 games behind him, and he now finds Dale Grubb. Grubb towards the edge of the penalty area. Back from him to Brown. Brown to Winchester. Winchester to his right-hand side. Collins with the ball to Shepherd. Tranmere with everybody bar Norwood back behind the ball. Right-footed cross is too heavy. Mills is going to be able to keep it in though down by the far post, which is the Forest Green left. He pulls the ball back to the corner of the area for Brown. Back it goes again. Winchester now with a bit of room. Right-footed shot across the face of goal. Couldn't quite get Shepherd coming in at the far post quickly enough to get a touch to turn it over the line. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. 18 gone second half. On Talksport 2, it's Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1.
Still not really enough on the Tranmere Rovers goal at the moment. Forest Green, they're puffing and they're puffing. That's the first shot in anger really in this second half. Winchester cutting across the ball, almost turned into a good cross, but well wide of that far post, and looks like Mickey Mellon's about to make a change in.
It's going to be a goal kick which will be taken from our left-hand side by Scott Davis, but Tranmere's first change is imminent, as you say, and Collins will bring the ball forward, and then Nelson clatters it high. Norwood, being almost physically held up by McGinley, did well just to keep his poise, and lays it off for Harris on the right-hand side. His ball back for Caprice goes out of play, and it's a throw which will be taken on the Forest Green left, and then Harris goes to the ground again. And that time it was just a genuine collision off the ball between him and Brown. Poor clearance though from McGinley. Straight from Morris. Morris towards the edge of the area. Left-footed shot. And it swerved just over the bar. And out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Forest Green. And that will allow Tranmere the opportunity to make the change.
Yeah, and the first change up for Tranmere is Harvey Gilmore coming on for Kieran Morris. And as Mickey Mellon's been giving a lot of instructions to Gilmore, he's been asking him to shore up the left-hand side. I think they're a little bit worried about Williams and the effect he's had on the game so far in the second half. So I think this is to cancel that.
Number 22, Harvey Gilmore.
It is the back end of Gilmore's first season as a first-team player in his career. He was on the books of Sheffield United, loaned to Tranmere. And he's made that loan move permanent after making a good account of himself over the first half of the season. But again, another player, relatively inexperienced, only 30-odd games behind him in his career. As he comes on, he'll play on the left. Here's Collins for Forest Green. Down to the right-hand side for Liam Shepherd. Doidge in the middle. Grubb is in the middle as well. If they can get it across, it's worked back instead towards Collins. Chip forward. Brown trying to flick it on, but he couldn't get past Month, and then it'll be cleared easily through the midfield by Perkins. Perkins to Norwood. Great turn from Norwood. He's getting the better of McGinley now, and that was cynical from Winchester, who's pulled him to the ground, and it's a yellow card. Oh, it's red. It's red because it's his second yellow card, and Carl Winchester is off, and Forest Green are down to 10 men again. Down to 10 men for the majority of the first leg, and they're a man light for the final quarter of the second leg as well. Carl Winchester earlier in the half, it was a very cynical challenge. Can have no complaints about that yellow card whatsoever, as he just clipped the heels of James Norwood, and Winchester is dismissed, and Forest Green on aggregate are now a goal down and a man down.
Well, they've been living dangerously for the last minute or so. They've given the ball away in some really dangerous areas, and there it's Norwood just working hard, making something out of nothing. He gets turned. I think he's actually quite clever there, because there seemed to be an arm from Norwood into the chest of Winchester. I'm not saying there wasn't a trip, but he just slowed up a little bit, made sure that collision was coming. And as you say, Jim, it's stopped probably a certain Tranmere opportunity, and the yellow card is probably the right call.
So Eddie Ilderton sends off Carl Winchester, and there's mild euphoria amongst the Tranmere fans on the far touchline. Had a few red cards this season. Forest Green, Gunning's had a couple. Rawson's been sent off, Bigby and Godwin Malif as well, and now Winchester is dismissed, and a difficult job just been made all the harder. Mark Cooper has given his instructions to Dale Grubb about how the Forest Green are going to shuffle things around. When they went a man light in the first leg, they changed to a back three. Just wonder whether they will do that this time as well. Free kick for the foul, swept inside the penalty area, just too long for Month from the delivery from Banks, and it drifts away and out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our right hand side. It's 1-1. Forest Green down to 10 men. Tranmere 2-1 up on aggregate. Forest Green had 22 minutes to score a goal with 10 men that would take this into extra time.
I really don't think at this point Mark Cooper can have too many complaints. They haven't done enough in this second half, I don't think, to warrant to be back in front in tonight's proceedings. I think it's been a job well done by Tranmere so far, frustrating Forest Green, stopping those two boys, Brown and Doidge, who have supplied such a good combination for Forest Green throughout this season, but had very little impact on the game tonight.
Ball's hooked away, goes out of play for a Forest Green throw. And Mark Cooper's going to make another change in a moment, just in a bid to try and redress the balance now that Winchester has been dismissed, and bring another central midfielder on. Be a long clearance from our right hand side by Ward. Ball swung towards the edge of the penalty area. Nelson going up for it. Now to be brought down in the left hand side by Gilmore. Gilmore working back for Ridehouse. Long ball fall from him. Norwood battling with McGinley. This time it's the Forest Green centre-half, the Teessider, who can bring it away. Finding Mills. Mills back for McGinley again. McGinley trying to get away from Norwood, who's putting the pressure on, and McGinley almost caught in possession. Harris ends up on the deck, and the free kick actually goes against him. It's a free kick which will be taken by Forest Green 20 yards inside their own half. Harris stretching, catching his man, and he's ended off the worst, and might need a little bit of treatment to a right ankle. But it is going to be a free kick to Forest Green, and the brief hiatus while Harris decides whether he needs treatment or not We'll see the home side make the change.
Yeah, the substitution for Forest Green sees Dale Grubb make way, Lloyd James come on. They want to shore up that midfield, try and give themselves a base to get back in this game and get back in front. Just going back to that tackle there, Jim, it was a flying challenger, and Mickey Mellon was absolutely furious that the free kick went against his side. He thought that was a really bad challenge from the Forest Green centre half.
So the change made. James on for Grubb. And Lloyd James, who's played in 3 playoff finals in his career, has lost all 3, including each of the last 2 at this level. Both with Exeter. Ball thrown down the left-hand touchline. Here's an opportunity for Forest Green. Williams inside the penalty area, trying to get the better of Month. Month will take it down towards the corner flag, and he's been shoved to the ground. He's 6'6". He's probably 16 stone. Wouldn't necessarily go to ground like that if he was given a slight push of that ferocity outside a nightclub, but nevertheless he's won a free kick which will be taken down by the corner flag. 20 to go. The 10 men of Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1.
Yeah, big relief for Tranmere. That little attack from George Williams coming to an end down the left hand side. I think McGinley was fortunate there, Jim. I thought that was a poor challenge. I think Mark Cooper thought as much. He was just telling his central defender just to calm down. We can ill afford to lose another body at this stage. He's been bold, you know. The 2 fullbacks are pushing on, just the 2 centre halves. He's dropped. Collins is playing as a central midfield player. It's almost like a 4-3-2, if you like, with Williams supporting Christian Deutsch, the central striker.
Forest Green, remember, have to win tonight inside 90 minutes. If they win by a goal, it goes to extra time. If they win by 2 or more, then they've got the job done on aggregate. A draw or a Tranmere win, and it is side from the Wirral, supported in person, I understand, tonight by esteemed referee Mike Dean in the away end, who will be making their way to Wembley. Here's Mills. Mills turning on halfway, laying it back for McGinley. McGinley to Rawson, and Rawson will be able to bring the ball forward here for Forest Green. Ball out towards the right for Shepherd. Back for Rawson again. 18 minutes to go. 1-1. Rawson bringing the ball through the midfield, finding James. The Welshman working it down to the left-hand side for Mills. Mills went for the little nutmeg of Jennings. The ball hit the knee of the Tranmere man and goes out of play for a throw, which Mills will take. Hurled down the line. It's headed away. Brought back forward. Brought back down then on the edge of the box. Brown with a shot which took a deflection and ricochets through inside the air. In the end, very easy for Scott Davis to come out and make the save. Decided goal for Reece Brown. But Davis making a comfortable stop, and it remains 1-1. 18 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Forest Green down to 10 men. Tranmere in no hurry to restart play, as you would imagine. And the history of this playoffs in this division, in the 4th tier, 9 teams have overturned a first leg deficit to qualify. It hasn't happened though for 6 years, and the signs at the moment are that it won't be happening tonight. I think I'm rightly saying that in the last 9 times at this level that a side has lost the first leg, they've been eliminated on every occasion. Caprice plays it forward. Handball shout against Mills. It's been given. It's a free kick, which will be taken on the right. Jennings turns to the assistant referee near side and said, "Why didn't you put your flag up?" Referee, in fairness, I think probably had a better view of it. As a consequence, the free kick has been given by him, by the right-hand touchline. Tranmere again in no hurry to restart proceedings. Banks will make his way forward in his very dark blue boots. He'll put the ball down near where referee Ilderton has put the spray. Only near, not on the spray, which is now moving away, having put the ball significantly goal side of where the spray is, as a young fan in front of us is trying to point out. Ball swung inside the penalty area, only 3 attacked it, amongst them Month. It's cleared out for Perkins, back out of the left-hand touchline again for Gilmore, and the substitute goes back for Perkins again. Perkins inside the penalty area, faced up by Deutsch. He couldn't get across him, but they've worked it intelligently out for Norwood on the left flank, and he will just bring the ball back instead for Harvey Gilmore. Now he comes for Perkins once more. Chipped into the feet of Norwood, trying to turn, and has won a corner off McGinley, which will be taken over on the far touchline. It is Tranmere's first of the second half. It's still Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1, 16 minutes to go. Tranmere 2-1 up on aggregate.
Really intelligent movement there from Norwood. just setting it back for Perkins, but they're not just standing still and admiring, adjusting his position, making sure that he's in space to receive and winning them a corner. I mean, there will be chances now for Tranmere, because as I said, Mark Cooper's just leaving the two centre-halves. He's telling the full-backs, stay high, stay wide, and they're really going for it now with just 16 minutes remaining.
Corner swung in from the left-hand side. Heads go up for it. Month was in there, so too Norwood. It's half cleared. The second clearance from Williams just enabled his side to push out of the penalty area, but Tranmere recycle it, work it out to the left flank again. An opportunity for Banks on the edge of the box, pulled it short for Perkins, back out of the left-hand side of the area, a chance to deliver from Ridehouse, and that one's cleared by the off-balance Mills. Now for a throw which will be taken in front of those Tranmere supporters, who certainly believe that this is going to be their night now. 15 minutes left, and they have a numerical advantage after the dismissal of Carl Winchester for a second bookable offence. Few eyebrows raised in this press box when Sandro was talking earlier about the Sky Bet offering 40-1 about a player from each side being dismissed tonight. Ball is out for a throw, which will be taken over on the far side again by Liam Ridehouse. Ridehouse picking up the ball from down by the corner flag. Takes 2, 3, 4 steps back, actually away from the corner flag, just then drops it short into the feet of Perkins. Back for the full-back again. Opportunity to deliver, but as it was worked back for Ridehouse, he was in an offside position, having taken the throw. And here's a free kick to Forest Green in a hurry to get on with it now. 14 minutes to go, and it remains 2-1 on aggregate to Tranmere. You're listening to Forest Green against Tranmere on Talksport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Another opportunity for Tranmere to get it forward. Caprice. Home side need more possessions. Good match management at the moment by Mickey Mellon's visitors. Ball comes back down for Norwood. Norwood trying to flick it round the corner. Did it hit Mills? Yes, it did. Out for a throw, which Tranmere will take with Caprice on their right.
Yeah, it just looks like the belief is just seeping out of the Forest Green players at the moment. They need to try and rally themselves. One big push, 13 minutes of the season potentially remaining. Can they carve open Tranmere and get at least an opportunity on Davies's goal? They've been few and far between so far this evening.
Ridehouse from distance, a rising drive which Ward had cut. Goes over the bar into the Forest Green end, away to the right, and they've retrieved it quickly for him. They just need to create more opportunities than they have been, because shots on target really have been few and far between. As far as Forest Green are concerned, 6 shots, that's all they've mustered in 77 minutes. Only 2 on target, only 1 in more than an hour since the goal. McGinley heads it away, out for a throw. How do they create more opportunities, particularly now that they're down to 10 men?
When we said it at half-time, Jim, when we were speaking off air, that the know-how of the Tranmere players, that looks to be the difference between the two sets of players. From the first whistle tonight, you'd have to say they've not had enough on the Tranmere goal. They've not been able to open them up, and Tranmere have managed it fantastically well, even more so now that they've got the numerical advantage. Set piece, I have to say, getting the ball into Williams, they're going to have to go a little bit more direct because they've got one less body out there, so they're going to have to hope that Christian Deutsch, for once this evening, is able to back in, bring someone into play, and potentially a chance can come from that. But I think you're talking about a set piece maybe now.
Tomorrow night over on Talksport, it's West Brom against Villa, second leg of their semi-final in the Championship. Wednesday night also on Talksport, Leeds Derby from Elland Road. Here on Talksport 2 Thursday night, Portsmouth Sunderland, and the build-up starting at 6 for that, and also on Friday night for Charlton Doncaster here on 2 at the Valley. Here's Norwood trying his luck from the edge of the area, blocked by McGinley, who threw himself in at the point of contact from Norwood's shot. Ball worked out to the left-hand touchline again for Perkins. Perkins playing it out to Liam Ridehouse, midway inside the Forest Green half. Banks will take over now. Wide it goes from him. Tranmere so effectively just keeping the ball, maintaining possession, keeping it out of harm's way of their goal. Only got to do that for another 15 minutes or so. Rightfully shot comes in from distance from Jennings. It's easily saved by Ward, and then Ward bowls it out for McGinley. And McGinley plays it forward through the midfield. Williams so lively after he come on, but since the red card he's hardly had a touch of the ball. Worked back by him for Brown. Brown to Rawson. Rawson to his left hand side for McGinley. Forest Green bring it forward. They're now in Tranmere territory. Little step over, trying to get away from Banks. He's been able to work the ball to his right-hand side for Brown. Brown's ball forward towards the edge of the box. Is knocked away by Month and then cleared over the top. McGinley gives Norwood gives chase. But it's Rawson that comes back and sweeps up for Forest Green. And we're in the final 10 minutes now. And Forest Green's final change we made in the moment was Sean Mikulski preparing to come on. Left-footed ball swung inside the penalty area from Mills. Hit Caprice, goes out of play for a corner, and Forest Green will make the change before it's taken.
Yeah, final change. Sean Mikulski coming on for Lee Collins and throwing everything at it now. Mikulski scored a FA Cup winning goal for Newport against Leeds last year. Let's see if we can come up with something for Forest Green now. My goodness, they need it.
Well, he spent the first half of this season on loan at Southend. Started his career in non-league with Dulwich Hamlet, and he comes on now replacing Collins. Final change with 10 minutes to go for the 10 men to find a goal. In comes the corner towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Heads went up for it, but it was a white-shirted head that got it away, if you know what I mean. Ball comes back down for Shepherd. Shepherd to James. Back for Shepherd again. Shepherd playing it out towards the right-hand side for Brown. 1-1. 2 on the Tranmere on aggregate. Forest Green chasing the game a man light after Winchester was sent off as Brown makes his way forward, and the sliding challenge from Righthouse puts it out for a throw which will be taken over on the Forest Green right. Ball thrown forward by Brown, turned through the midfield. Home side can't get it to stick, and a long ball will be played over the top then by Harris, chased by Norwood. Controls it with his left knee, just bobbles down towards the corner flag. He's drawn Rawson over there with him, just hold it up down by the corner flag, forcing Rawson to try and make some kind of challenge, and in the end when he does so he can just bring it away, one possession cleanly. Play forward from Brown into the feet of Mikulski with his back to the direction of play, guarded back from him to the fullback Shepherd. Lloyd James angles it over the top and the chase is on, and Doidge is goal side of Month. But Month has done really well just to get that big barrel chest between Doidge and the ball, and then he's able to turn it to safety. Then it's played forward through the midfield. A poor challenge coming in on James from Harris, and a free kick will be taken by Forest Green on halfway. 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Tranmere 2-1 up on aggregate.
Yeah, just playing the percentages, a simple ball down the side. It looked like Doidge was favourite. It looked like Month was struggling to lift his legs for a moment, whether he was still feeling the effects of that previous challenge from Williams down on the left-hand side. But that was quite a cynical foul there from Harris, sliding into the Forest Green player. And these are the moments, these are the big moments. If they can just keep the ball alive in and around the 18-yard box, they should have one more opportunity in them with the 8 minutes that remain.
Will be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added on as well, I would imagine. Shepherd taking this free kick. Doidge going up for it. It came off the side of his head. Second ball won by Gilmore. Tranmere trying to get it away towards halfway. James turns it back forward through the midfield. It's whacked back with a little bit of interest, and Norwood scampering after it. Will pick it up left-hand side of the area, running at Shepherd, working the angle and driving it wide of the top right-hand corner and out of play for a goal kick.
Well, it's a terrific pass from Ollie Banks, really beautiful, just turning Forest Green round. Norwood with a couple of options. You can't really blame him this stage of the season, the form that he's been in, just trying to wrap his right foot around it. A little bit too much elevation, clearing the crossbar. There was a pass onto his right. With the substitute Gilmore and Harris coming up in to support him.
Long ball launch for Mikulski is offside. Free kick to Tranmere just outside their box. There's still just about a pinkish hue to the sky away to our right hand side. The sun setting, and at the moment the light's going out on Forest Green Rovers. 7 minutes remaining. Can they create worthwhile opportunity? They haven't had a shot on target in this second half so far. Clock on the scoreboard on the far touchline ticks over to 84. Scott Davis will take this free kick for Tranmere. The offside against Mikulski. He's in no hurry to take it. Long ball forward. Norwood battling with McGinley. McGinley wins it, but Tranmere win the second ball with Harris. Norwood trying to just roll McGinley. Couldn't get the ball down the channel, and it goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the right-hand side by Jake Caprice. Jennings showing for him. Caprice waves him away. Now Caprice just tilts his head, shows Norwood where he's going to throw the ball, and it goes over him, over McGinley, out of play. McGinley asks a yellow-jacketed, orange-jacketed steward behind the goal just to act as the ball boy, which he does, and Ward takes the goal kick. Launched forward, but so much haste that there wasn't any accuracy on it, and will come straight back again through the Tranmere left flank with Riothouse. High ball fall from him, McGinley going up for it, heads it away, falls outside the penalty area, suspicion of maybe a handball on the edge of the box there. Tranmere will take it down towards the corner flag, and Norwood has done really well to battle his way past two players, Mills and McGinley, then tries to set it up for Harris as he bundled over by Brown. The referee says no, it's a goal kick.
Yeah, good play again from Norwood, just keeping it alive, able to engineer the pass back in towards Jennings, and Harris actually ultimately arrived in the box, but don't think there was too much in it, just coming together.
5 minutes for Forest Green to save their season and take it into extra time. Monk hangs his head after slicing a clearance straight out of play for a throw, which will be taken over on the Forest Green right. It's dropped short towards Rawson. Rawson led with the edge of the centre circle. Ball into the feet of Lloyd James, and then back for Rawson again. High ball forward. It's going to be chased by Mikulski. Mikulski trying to battle his way through past Ridehouse on the edge of the penalty area, who, of course, picked up that ultra-quick red card in the playoff final last year. Is he going to be given another opportunity to play in a playoff final at Wembley? Side only 4 minutes away, and he's won a free kick. Should be taken over on that far touchline by his goalkeeper, Scott Davis. Forest Green 1, Tranmere 1 on Talksport 2. Tranmere leading the 10 men of the Gloucestershire side 2-1 on aggregate.
Yeah, more frustration from Mark Cooper and Mikulski, just in his youthful exuberance, really, his enthusiasm to try and get involved in the game, just making a silly foul over on the far side and giving the impetus back to Tranmere Rovers just to get forward. This will be boomed into the corner in some valuable seconds.
St Mirren 1, Hamilton 0 in that game north of the border. That would move St Mirren back within a point, and they were going to the final game of the season, still in a position to avoid the relegation playoff. It's McAllister with the goal there. They've got 4 minutes to play in that one against the 10 men of the Ackies. 3 minutes to play here. Forest Green down to 10. Tranmere not far away now. They can see the finishing line. They're almost there. They've done such a professional job being able to restrict the number of opportunities that Forest Green Rovers have had. Ball's gone out of play for a goal kick, which Lewis Ward will take. Everything being done at high intensity and pace now for Forest Green, just desperate to try and get as many seconds out of the game as they can. Nelson has patrolled Doidge very effectively all night and does so again, and it's help forward from Harris. McGinley's going to be there ahead of Jennings, just gave him a little nudge off the ball. Rawson lays it back to the goalkeeper, and Ward will bring it to the edge of the penalty area and then prepare to clear. High ball played forward, headed down through the midfield by Williams, returned by Perkins. Mills helps it on. Perkins seemingly went in a little bit late there, and the referee acknowledges that and has given the free kick to be taken on the Forest Green left hand side. This is the kind of chance that they have to make the most of if anything's going to happen for them.
Yeah, it looks a bit naughty from Perkins there, just over the top of the ball. The first one, him and Mills having a little coming together. After that, referee ushers them away. Yeah, another good opportunity to put some quality into the box. It's been lacking.
Williams to take it. Right-footed ball, swung inside the penalty area. It's a little nudge down towards McGinley. Who's it come off last? It was Mills, named as the home team's sponsor, man of the match there. It goes out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Scott Davis. We're in the 89th minute, and the Tranmere fans certainly believe that their destiny is Wembley. Goal kick, which will be taken by Davis away to our left-hand side. Tranmere captain takes 5, 6, 7 steps back, then kicks his post with his left boot. Now makes his way forward, drives it long over the halfway line, headed on by Norwood. This will be a particularly sweet moment for him, the man who at the moment is destined to score the aggregate winner. McGinley will take a throw, leaves it in fact for Mills. Mills hurls it forward as long as he can, which clearly having his shirt pulled there by Caprice. Out of play for another throw. Fourth official Neil Hare has the numbers board in his hand. There's an angry reaction from someone on the Tranmere bench there towards Mills, I think. Mills takes the throw, launch ball from him, knocked down by Caprice, headed away by Perkins, but given away to Rawson. Rawson out towards the right-hand touchline, a tired ball that will be seized upon by Tranmere's Gilmore down the left-hand side as we go into 5 minutes of added time. Big roar from the home crowd as that is announced. Monk back to his goalkeeper. Davis slams it away over halfway. Rawson goes up for it, climbing above Harris. Brought down in the midfield though by Lloyd James. And the former Leyton Orient man working out towards the right-hand touchline as it come off last. Williams, and out for a throw which will be taken on the Tranmere left-hand side. And you sensed as soon as Winchester was sent off, this wasn't going to be Forest Green's night, and it's just drifting away from them now.
Well, it hadn't been their night to that point. Yes, they got the early goal, but I think they lacked creativity from the first whistle really this evening. There was that one nice little over from Brown for Christian Deutsch in the first half, but other than that, you know, they've had nothing in the final third today, and a real disappointment. Even Williams coming on the first few moments looked really optimistic from a Forest Green perspective, but they've just petered out really in this second half. Yes, the numerical advantage has been Tranmere's, but it's been really poor from Forest Green.
Norwood on the right-hand touchline, can't find a way past McGinley, who barreled into the challenge. It's gone out for a throw rather than a corner, but Norwood will amble across, not to take it, but just to retrieve the ball. Still, there are a few incidents going on. Norwood is just being led away now, with the Tranmere supporters having their arms around him, and he's gone across to commiserate with Liam Shepherd. But the pitch invasion just for a moment looked as though it might turn a little bit nasty. It certainly had an edge to it, and there was one fan in particular that made his way over and did his best to strike McGinley. Hopefully that will be picked up and that fan will be banned for life. Many of the Tranmere fans, it has to be said, have enjoyed the moment in the best possible manner. Good-natured support, looking ahead to Wembley, basking in the glory of a job very well done over 2 legs. They have been the better side over 180 minutes. They fully deserve this victory. Beaten in the playoff final 2 years ago, beaten by Forest Green home and away in the league, but they've got the job done when it mattered. Draw tonight after a win at Prenton Park, and it is Tranmere Rovers who are in the final, and they will be taking on Newport County at Wembley a week on Saturday. Tranmere 90 minutes away from a return to League One.